Hey crafty friends, it's Alyssa with Crafting to Cope, and I'm on today with a quick little tutorial. So I have a craft fair that I'm going to tomorrow with one of my friends, and I was putting together some blind date with a book, and I was just kind of finishing putting all the goodies in, and I realized I never ordered any bookmarks. And so I had made wooden bookmarks in the past, but they were kind of short and maybe a little too thick to fit in there. So I panicked, and then I came up with these cute little bookmarks, and I thought I have to make more, so I just thought I'd share with you. So I made these adorable little bookmarks, and they're laminated, and I just made them out of scraps that I had in my pattern paper scrap pile. And so I wanted some kind of colors that matched my theme of what I was going to do for the blind date with the book. And then I just thought they were so cute. So I made some with some other scraps while I was just kind of hanging out. I made these out of just like cute little scrap paper. I thought they'd be a cute little cheapie to put on my table, just with different designs. So I had some extra of this Cricut paper with like Donald Duck and Daisy Duck, and then some, superhero paper. And I threw a couple of Halloween ones in there from, anything that I had that was big enough to kind of turn into one of these cute little bookmarks. I just turned them into bookmarks, and I thought I could throw them on my table by the blind date with the book, and with back to school, maybe somebody would be interested in a cute little bookmark. I thought they were adorable. They're pretty plain. I didn't really put any decoration on them. I just wanted to do something real quick and easy to put in my blind date with the book. So I'm just going to go through with you real quick how to make these. So if you have you can do these without laminating them. They're just obviously a little sturdier if you do laminate them. But I'm going to just kind of go through with you real quick how I made it in case you're interested in making some for your craft fair, blind date with the book. They're good little stocking stuffers. If you buy somebody a book for Christmas, they'd be great to add. So I'm just going to go through with you the things you need to get started. So I'm going to need my paper trimmer. I also always have a pair of scissors on hand. I used this tag punch to punch the top of my bookmark. So you don't have to do that. You can just cut the corners if you wanted. I just liked the look of that. I also used a corner rounder, I used it at the bottom. I wanted my corners rounded because I was laminating and I don't want sharp edges. And then a hole punch. You could just use a regular hole punch from like the Dollar Tree. I use this one. If you want them laminated, you need a laminator. I just grabbed some Christmas paper because I'm going to do some Christmas blind date with the book. So we're going to use those, and then some tassels. And so I'm just going to show you real quick how I made mine. And you're also going to need laminating pouches if you're going to laminate. So, and we'll go through that when we get to that step. So I didn't have any Christmas scraps because obviously I haven't done any Christmas scrapbooking yet, or paper crafting yet. So I don't really have any scraps laying around. So I just grabbed some sheets of 6x6 paper, and I like to grab the two-sided because I want, my bookmarks not to be white. They can be, but I just like them to be two-sided. So I did pick paper that was two-sided, but there was a few of these. So like this one, it was white on the other side. I just glued two sides together, so I didn't have a white side. But you could do whatever you prefer. I just like both sides colored, so that's what I did. So it's really easy. I'm just going to grab one of these cute pieces of paper. Let's see, which one should we do? We're going to do these little houses. So all you're going to do for this is, again, you're going to want to pay attention to your direction. Because, you're going to want it to go the correct way. So you're going to take your cutter, your trimmer, whatever you're going to use. And here I need to cut off this top strip. So I'm just going to get this in here at 6. Cut off that strip. So now I have a 6x6 piece of paper. I made all of my bookmarks 2 inches by 6 inches. So again, pay attention to the direction, and I'm just going to cut these at the 2 inches. And then you get 3 bookmarks out of one 6x6 sheet of paper. Again, use your scraps. They don't have to be this size. I'm making them 2 inches because this punch that I'm going to use has a 2-inch little marker in it. But again, you could just trim off the corners and punch a hole, or round the corners and punch a hole. You don't have to use the thing I'm going to use. I have it, so I thought I'd use it. I bought it to make cute little tags. It works like a charm. But really, all you do with this, which it's fabulous because you can make tags that are 1.5, 2.5, and 2 inches. And it has these little lines right here, so you know exactly where to put your piece of paper. So again, I want this to be the top so the houses are going the correct way. And I just punch, and then it turns the top into that. So we're just going to do these 3. You follow those little guides, and then I do take my corner rounder, and I am going to round the corners at the bottom. Again, all of this is preference. You can do them however you want. You could just have 2-inch bookmarks. You don't even have to put a hole at the top and add a tassel if you don't want to. You can, you know, I don't know. I'm always looking for bookmarks. I tend to use like an old piece of mail or something, and then, which is hilarious because I have so much paper. I could probably have a bookmark for every page and every book that I own. So, once those are done, you know, you see both sides are decorated. They're super cute. I do have my laminator heating up. So while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to pick out some cute tassels to add to the top once they're done. And I'm just going to kind of go through and see what colors I think look good. And I'll link all of this stuff down below that I used. I get my tassels. I just order them right on Amazon. And they come in a bunch of different colors. Obviously, I have this huge basket. I use them for a lot of things. I've ordered a couple different types just to kind of have a variety on hand. And I think maybe, I don't know that I like that one. We'll do that one. So we'll just do kind of Christmas colors. So we'll have those 3. And again, I just have this little laminator. I'll show it to you. I just have this little Scotch laminator that's warming up right now. It's super easy. Once you take it out of the box and take the packaging off, you really just turn it on. And then you pick 3mm or 5mm for these. 3mm works great. That's what I bought. I also, I buy the clear finish. There is one that's a non-glare finish. And if you use that one, you kind of get, I think I did one in that, but I'm not sure you're going to be able to see the difference on camera. So let me just move this so I can try and show you the difference. So this is a shiny finish and this is the non-glare finish. It kind of just looks like it's wrapped almost in like wax paper. It has like, it's still protected. It's just not as vibrant, where like on the rest of these, the colors just look a lot more vibrant. It's probably really hard to tell online, but I always buy the clear finish. And, but again, it's totally up to your preference. And then I buy this big pack because I do a lot with laminating, and I'll try and share more of those things with you. There's so many fun things you can do in crafting with a laminator. You know, obviously bookmarks, I was in a pinch and I didn't have time to order them, and so I made those adorable bookmarks. There's also, I probably have 5 different ways to make bookmarks with my laminator, which is so fun. So I'll share some more of those with you in the future. So once this is ready, it just turns blue here, and then you're going to want to tip it to the back, and you just pull this tray right out here. And then you're going to take one of your laminating sheets. Let me grab one. I probably should have cut more because I try to maximize the space on my laminating sheets, because they aren't the cheapest thing. If you buy them in bulk, you tend to get a better price. So you just take your laminating sheet, and then you're going to open it up. I'm going to move this up just so I can kind of show you. And you're just going to arrange your item that you're going to laminate in, it doesn't really matter. We're going to cut them out, trim them, make them all pretty. So I'm just going to lay them in here like this. Make sure that there's enough space between them. I have plenty of room to work with here. So make sure there's enough space in between them that you can keep like about 1/8 of an inch you're going to want around each one of them to make sure that they stayed sealed. Because then what happens is they're durable. They're going to last longer. They're waterproof, you know, all the things. So then you just feed it right through your laminating machine. And mine's in crooked and it doesn't matter. It's still going to work. I also do have, which I didn't take out, I have what's called like a carrier folder for laminating. I'll try to do that with my next project. That makes it a little bit easier to put multiple things within the sheet and kind of keep them where they need to be. I use that when I remember, but really it's this simple. If you start to put a lot of really small things in a laminating sheet, it gets a little tricky, but this is really it. I mean, this is such an easy project and definitely helped me out in my mind, because now I have, you know, all of these cute little, with the tassel bookmarks to put into my blind date with the book. And then since I just kind of was going with it, I just decided to keep making them and just have a little basket of, you know, probably, I mean, it's just scrap paper laminating. I have to figure out the dollar amount that I put into it, but I'm going to guess like $1 or so. And it'll just be nice, a little nice cheapie on my table. So there's a couple things you can do. You can use your trimmer to cut. I'm just going to use scissors. I'm not sure if you could see this, but if you look really close, you can kind of see the seal edge around this. And so I just try to follow that. So I round the corners and then I just cut around that seal. And you can kind of tell it sounds different when you're cutting next to that seal than if you just cut. I don't know if you could hear that, but see, it sounds different when you're cutting by the seal. And I just do this. It's harder to use a cutter when you use that this up here because it's not a straight cut. If you were just going to cut like a rectangle bookmark and you weren't going to have these edges, you could round the corners after. So I'm just going to cut the rest of these out. I just thought this was going to be so cute. And then I'm doing regular blind date with the book, but then I also bought some Christmas themed books, you know, like Christmas little romances, like little Hallmark type stories and books. And I was going to wrap those in Christmas paper and then add more fun little Christmas things in with them, you know, obviously maybe a Christmas pen, little Christmas themed reading stickers, those types of things. So the rest of them just had regular reading themes, but I just thought it'd be fun to use Christmas paper and add a few little Christmas themes. All right, once you're done with that, you're just going to punch this hole. And again, I'm using this. I love this thing. It's from We Are Memory Keepers. And so this, you can use it to put like grommets in things or just poke holes. It has all these, it has 2 different sizes of hole punch. And then in the top, there's a guide. So I can just put this in and I can see where the hole is through the top. And then I just punch it out. And so once we're done with that, we're just going to add those cute little tassels, and then it's that quick. And I think I can fit 5 or 6 bookmarks normally on my laminating sheet. So, I mean, you can kind of get these things done pretty quick. Now, if you wanted to get fancier, obviously you could add some stickers on here. You could, you know, add little cut aparts. I'm just making mine pretty plain because I'm going to sell it pretty cheap and I don't, you know, want to put too much into it. Plus I was in a pickle. So really all I do, this is not the best thing to poke through here, but I just poke through the tassel like this And then I take the loop, open it up, grab the rest of the tassel, and then I have this adorable Christmas bookmark with the tassel. And it's two-sided. And then I just made so many of them. I don't know. It was occupying my time while I was sitting, just kind of watching a show. It's just kind of an easy thing. It's an easy craft. And sometimes I like complicated crafts, but every once in a while to feel productive, I love these little easy crafts where I can kind of just pump out a bunch of stuff. It's super cute. Again, we're just going to grab that through that hole and pull it, and then it seals it. I don't know. I just like to be able to feel like I've accomplished something that I can get done really quick. I also really like to have, like a couple cheaper items on my table. Like if kids walk up and, they're asking for something, usually a parent is like, oh, for sure, you can get a bookmark, and then it gives like the parents a little bit more time to look. So these are my 3 Christmas bookmarks. And again, I tried to make some kid-themed ones, just not to add into my blind date with a book, but just off of some of this paper that I had. I used some of these to cover some composition notebooks, and these were just little extras that I had. I don't know. It's fun to kind of go through your scrap bin. You can turn things into tags. You can turn them into bookmarks, all kinds of things you can do with these little paper scraps. And I hate wasting. And I think that's why I really like this tool, because I can turn all my scraps into little cute tags. I can use them on gifts. I can make tag packs, or these cute bookmarks. So that's my quick little tutorial today that you got to learn about, since I forgot to order bookmarks. So I will link everything I used below. If you're interested in any of it, you can follow those links. Otherwise, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to be on with some more tutorials and shares soon. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.